Yep, we're recording.
We're
Boom.
recording. We're live.
Instantly clicked it.
We have no intro. This is the intro. Welcome to the intro.
Welcome to being here. Super happy that Griffin made it. I better see my other brother in here tonight at some point.
Yeah.
Because I told him, put it on your phone, watch on the side. You're going to want to see this artwork tonight. Luckily, the rest of you made it. You're here. We got a little house building up in the stream chat. But,
Speaking of people who are here for the stream,
yeah,
we have a special guest today. Say hi.
Elite
Hola.
PVG.
Elite PVG is here in person.
We snagged him from the local game store, dragged him in for the stream today. He's going to kind of give us a little live react. We're all three like huddled around my one headset mic, so we're going to do our best.
Say hello.
Hi, can y'all hear me?
Can y'all hear Elite PVG?
Looked like it was lighting up
What
good.
does the PVG stand for?
Photography, videography, and graphic design.
Ah.
Damn.
There you go.
That's a plug right there. Okay, so what did we advertise? What did our little bulletins
Just
say?
art.
Just an art? Okay.
Just an art.
So Kathy doesn't make the most descriptive advertisements.
I want it to be a surprise.
Sure. Ooh.
Hey, Lewis! I mean,
That's spelled.
that's really good. I keep using everyone's real name.
It's fine. We don't have to use our superhero names in here.
It's gonna be on YouTube.
Oh, I know. And then people will be able to look up there's a guy with a first name Lewis and Anyway. So yeah, we've actually got 3 spoils for tonight, like 3 new things is the way to say it. I'm gonna list them off real quick before we jump into it. We've got the new art. This is the long anticipated. It's been
Since September.
It's been a while, and I'm gonna tell a little tiny bit of a story with that. It's partially my fault. It's mostly my fault. He was 95% done with the inking, like ready to go to colors, probably like a month ago.
Yep.
And I was like, hang on, I want to add one more thing. There's like one little detail I want to get right. There's like one more little piece of story that I want to incorporate. And it took me forever to really nail down how I wanted to do that. Yeah. And he was so gracious. This is Fernando, of course, we're talking about.
Know it's Fernando.
Yeah. And he was so gracious and so willing to work with me. And like, most of the time, I have to message artists and be like, hey, how are we doing? You got that update? What's your schedule look like? You know, just keep on them. Not because they're slow or bad or doing anything wrong. It's just as my position, that's what I do. I always try to get the information, keep up with them, etc. This time I completely flipped around. Fernando was messaging me every like 5 days. Hey, you got that figured out yet? You got that piece yet? Like, what are we doing? You know?
It's like, I don't know. I can't make up my mind.
So it was definitely a long time coming. We did the little voting thing like here in the Discord. We posted it on Facebook and all the socials and stuff. And that's the first thing we're revealing. So that was the big introduction.
It's not.
Oh, it's not?
No, the keep card's the first thing. Spoiler.
Spoiler. So. I don't even apparently look at the stream file before I start.
We have new keep card. So let's just show it.
Just show it?
Yeah.
Well, I like to give the map.
Okay.
I like to talk
we
it
have
out.
a new keep card. We have a new art, and then the last thing we have is one of two of the 2023 event exclusive promos. We're going to show one of them this week and the other one next week.
True. Yep. And very hype. I like Elite's in chat says even in person I'm excited because he hasn't seen it yet.
You can just talk out loud, dude.
I ain't about to interrupt.
Yeah, I just want to talk over it. That's fine. I got it. I feel it. And yeah, I mean engaging in the text chat's also good. Drama Jock says I missed that, but okay. Let's go ahead and I need to click on.
Which part did you miss?
This. The spoiler maybe.
Oh.
I was trying to lay out the plan, Kathy.
The
spoiler. Okay. So we've actually had this piece of feedback a number of times. Mm-hmm. And we knew all the while that this was an issue.
The keep card?
The keep card.
Yeah.
Anybody who has decks right now knows that they only have one keep card.
Yep.
And it's actually poorly made. So these are...
Hey. So we always knew we were going to make another keep card. We just, I don't know, we dragged our feet doing it. We didn't have a reason to update it, but now we do, so we did it. Yeah. The Griffin keep card is the one that everyone has been seeing and everyone's been playing with. We made one slight little adjustment to it. We made the background of the word keep green. Before it was blue. And that doesn't make sense because Earth faction is green, not blue.
Yeah. Weird that one slipped through the cracks.
And then we have a new Dark Faction keep card. This will be with the Dark Faction starter deck, which makes sense because now you see the Dark Faction epics. Everisa
Little
and Hall of Shadows.
little info on her. Yep.
All right, Ellie, this is your first time seeing the new keep card. What do you think?
I like it. I can't wait to get one.
Yeah. And that's anybody who already has decks from Game Crafter. Obviously, you've got the old version with the blue banner, etc. We obviously can't retroactively do anything about that. We can't realistically.
Mary says, "Hi, I'm Dub. What's a keep card?" Good question, Mary.
Has Mary ever played with mulligans?
I don't think we ever played with mulligans.
Okay.
And you and Tyler played.
Yeah.
Because we just did a first run demo. So at the beginning of a game, the players draw 6 cards, and then they use the keep card to do what's called a mulligan, which in trading card games allows you to craft your starting hand so that you're not stuck with whatever random 6 cards you draw as those are the 6 I have to start the game. And it may or may not have put me in a bad position based on just luck of the draw. So the keep card is used in the very start of the game mulligan rule.
Okay.
It's used to help you craft your starting 6 cards, and also it helps determine who plays first.
Right.
On the first action of turn 1.
So this is a somewhat advanced mechanic. A lot of the times when we run demos, like Kathy said, if we're doing a first pass with players who aren't as experienced, we skip the mulligan because it's a pretty in-depth decision-making process that requires a lot of game knowledge and deck knowledge and all these different types of things.
Mm-hmm.
So in your first game, you really just don't have the tools to do it, which is why maybe you never have really seen it, or maybe we did it once with you towards the end, Mary, when we were in town. But it's definitely that next step, once you get a little bit more involved. But these are included with the decks. The way we have them printed right now, it's just that we only ever had one to begin with. And some of that is a holdover of the fact that we only had art for half that deck for so long. We only had art for that half of the dual deck for so long. But this will all get updated, and again, the people who don't have them, maybe we could look at just putting this up as a single card on Game Crafter if anybody actually wanted to just pick it up to go with just the demos of people who already exist. I'll research that and see how ridiculous it is. If they want $8 for one card or something, I'm not even gonna bother. But if it's something palatable, we'll look at it.
And then just to talk about the keep card a little bit, the goal was to make it appear as though it was a 1-page from a comic book about that faction. So we've already talked in other streams in the past about Griffin and his story about removing X from the Great Oak. And so that's kind of the story that you see on his keep card. With the Dark faction, we know from the Hall of Shadows artwork, it was this idea of politicians being paid off in the shadows for the ruffians and thugs of the Dark faction to actually run the town behind the scenes. And Avarisa is one of their leaders. And so that's where the story is coming from. Allegiance for sale if the price is right. And she's flicking her coin.
So Lee's making 2 comments. He's asking if the year's going to be in the stone again. That was the sort of exclusive edit from the event promo, had the 2022 on it. So that will not be on the keep card. Those of you who have those already, it'll be sweet that you get to just kind of...
Ali, will you say out loud that other comment you just wrote?
Oh, a flawed comic. Let's go. I like that idea.
He wants a flawed comic book, Ken.
There are so many people who want a flawed comic book. It's almost as if the choice to use comic book style artwork was fueled by some sort of this
If only we could get a comic book one day.
If only somebody's literally already collecting quotes. If only.
If only we knew someone who made.
If only I've hired 13 or 14 different artists who draw comic books. Maybe one day.
Nudge, nudge.
But yes, this is
excellent
cool.
Suggestion.
Yeah, nice. This is a cool way to kind of.
Mary's shock face, shock face.
They're giant too. This is a cool way to kind of separate the decks. This is kind of the final stamp. Root Tender's been updated. The keep cards are now unique. We fixed the blue banner to a green banner to make sense for the deck that it's in. Realistically, those 2 sort of introductory product decks, the Earth versus the Dark, are in prime shape. They've got everything kind of tuned up the way that we could ever imagine them to be. And that's a big line to cross. We had a little side announcement on that we're probably going to wait for next week to put an official stamp on that statement, but we'll stay tuned. We'll wait till next week.
We're still putting pieces of things. But yeah, eventually we'll have keep cards for 1 for each faction, and maybe even a couple extras, and those will be in the token slot in the booster packs.
When I actually got the quote for the distribution of cards, I think there's enough room for 2 token cards per color.
Oh, nice.
Like when I actually did the breakdown with my original quote from the manufacturer, I'd have to double check the data, but it's something in that vicinity.
Okay.
Maybe it was because a kitten token needs to be in that slot.
Yeah.
The keep cards need to be in that slot, so maybe it was something like one of each and then an extra 4 or something to do like.
Yeah, well that's fine. I already have an underwater spearman keep card.
You can also do some multicolor stuff. Like there are a lot of opportunities.
You got any ideas for a keep card elite?
Tons.
Who's your favorite character in Flawed?
Underwater spearman.
Oh, see, I've already got it done.
Yeah,
So,
we already have that keep card.
Now it's got to be a real thing.
Yeah.
I'll have to show it to you. It's on my computer. All right, next is the new artwork.
This is the new artwork is next?
Yeah, the new artwork is next.
Oh, right.
He's like, wait, which one is it? Because we
Okay.
have so many arts. Okay, here. Switch talking to me.
You got to get close. Get a good angle.
Oh boy.
So, we already kind of gave the backstory. Fernando was working tirelessly. I was dragging my feet. But we've got the long-awaited, voted on and selected by the viewers, to a point.
Now, the poll was Arsonist, Banishment, Through the Keyhole, and
True Believer were the 4 cards. It was close between Banishment and Through the Keyhole on Discord. And then on Facebook, I think that Banishment dropped off on Facebook majorly. And I got like a PM specifically asking for one from one patron.
Elite's like, did I vote? He's like, whispering. He's like, which one did I vote?
We can go check. We can go check in
I
the
think you
chat.
voted for Banishment? I don't remember. But you can
So
vote.
we ended up doing Through the Keyhole. It wasn't that it wasn't close. Again, all 4 of those cards had some votes. Banishment was a very close second. I have very big plans and hopes to get Fernando to realistically do all 4 of those cards. I think that he does a great style and a great bit of work that would really work for all of them. But the card is Through the Keyhole.
Hold on. Elite, when we show it, we're not going to say anything. It's all you.
All me.
It's all you. You ready?
Oh boy.
Your natural reaction into the chat. All right, I'm clicking. 3, 2, 1.
Nice. Y'all just keep getting better and better.
These artists, man.
I like it.
There's a lot to look at in this.
Yeah,
one.
take it in, folks. Take it in. Nobody's
Thor meets Flawed.
Okay.
What beats Flawed?
Thor. I see it a little bit. I see it a little bit.
It reminds me of Buckley.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. Mary says absolutely.
I like it a lot.
I like when you're looking at it. When you look at the art by itself, you're like, oh, I'm looking through a keyhole, right? You can see that. But when you look at the card, the first thing you see is the characters. And then it takes a second until you're like, wait a second. Oh, I'm looking through a keyhole, aren't I? It just, the way it's cropped, it's so like subtle and brilliant. You see like a little doorknob there. Oh, I love Fernando so much. Mary said,
We all know Fern can deliver.
we all love Fern can deliver. It's
Big
true.
agree. Like, Fernando's done 3 pieces for us now at this point, and they always come out like... There's 2 things I think I always pay attention to in his artwork. He has such a, like, fine attention to detail. Like, the little things that he puts in...
The ornamentation.
Yeah,
Wow,
exactly.
He's got something to say.
I was going to say the ornamentation of the keyhole actually makes you feel like you're there.
Yeah. Lots of detail.
Like it's... Like you feel like it's brass.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
you could reach out and touch it and like you feel the texture.
Yes.
And that, like, the perspective, how you can kind of see the edges and everything. Like, you got a little bit of a downward angle the way you're looking in. Like,
Even to the detail of the gap in between that
Yeah.
actual keyhole.
Yep. Absolutely. He did so much research to like try to figure out how to fit this onto a card and like which things to put in and stuff. He and I went back and forth and talked about it for a while before he even put the pen to page like once.
I feel like
And-
I had a picture in my head of what this card was going to look like, and he was just like, you got it.
Yeah. Rawls typing. Rawls actually typing. He made it. He's somehow pulled himself away from his tireless job. Can't wait to see what he's going to say. But that's what I was saying. She looks like she is so done with whatever he said, and she's about to slap him. So that's part of the story that's going on here a little bit, and we can stretch that out in a moment. The second thing I wanted to say about Fernando's pieces is the lighting. There's always such interesting, like, shading and shadowing and light and reflections and the colors and just like No gunslinger with a cool cowboy hat. 0 out of 10. Says Jake.
What was the gunslinger?
The temporary art was literally a
Oh yeah.
fan art from another world. But yeah, those two things, and then he packs it all in, and he gets it all going together, and just like when you look at this, like you are in there. You are realistically involved. You're crouched down. You can feel that like immersion immediately, and I really appreciate that. There's like so much to pull you into it.
I also like you were talking about lighting, like you can tell that there's like a candle or something next to her, just with the way the light is, and then it's like dark next to him. It just like gives it this ambiance of like you're in a little dark lit library.
Even with the reflections on the helmet.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Why don't you talk about that helmet, Ken?
So that's what I was going to say. I think it was Raul who made mention of like she looks like she is so done with whatever he said and she's about to slap him. Zoltan says I like the doorknob. Yeah, the doorknob is a great touch. He actually gave me a version like when he was doing the sketches like with doorknob and without doorknob because he's like, I'm not sure that you want it to be like that stark of a like an angle or not. And I'm like, oh no, the doorknob sells it. That is the final detail of like.
I never would have thought of that.
Yeah. But to the earlier point that Raul was saying with the actual transaction that's going on here, what's happening is you've got a dark faction character and an air faction character come together in this back room somewhere making a deal, right? And the full exchange is such that the air faction character actually has genuinely important information wrapped up in that scroll. Something that the dark faction character truly does want. The dark faction character has a bag of money that she could care less about because it's just money, whatever. We've got ways to get more. But the helmet is basically like a, not necessarily a replica, but it's meant to be like an unknown as to whether or not that is the air faction sort of like long lost. Somebody's live in voice. Is it Griffin? I muted him. Oh, let me server mute him. There we go. I had him personally muted. Thanks, Avery, for cleaning that up. He's just in the bushes at work, probably trying to sell tools or something.
Oh my god. You gotta listen on the recording.
Yeah, that's fine. But anyway, yeah. So like, basically the Quicksilver wings is the lost artifact of the air faction, where they're trying to find their like epic item. And the problem is that you don't know if it's you can't just tell it by sight. You have to like run it through tests and like equip it and like try to use its powers and like things like that. So the dark faction character is like, I don't freaking care. This is some old crummy helmet. It doesn't do anything special for me. I will gladly trade you the helmet and all the money you want for that genuinely important thing you've got in your hand. Whereas the air faction character is like, wow, this could be it. This could be like my big break. Like I've been looking for this for so long. And they both think that they're kind of scamming the other one. And the only way that it'll ever actually be like decided is once the helmet is tested out and it's determined if that is the correct version of this helmet that's been missing for all these years.
Love it.
I was just saying it's so gorgeous.
Yeah, no, this artwork came out phenomenal. Fernando's third submission, right?
Yeah.
I'm not miscounting.
Avarisa and Dying Breath.
Avarisa from the Keep card that we just saw, and Dying Breath, the classic.
I'm not surprised that they're all absolute slam dunks. I mean, when you look through his portfolio on Instagram, everything is just like, I mean, he's
a fantastic artist. Yeah, he really is. Very happy to have him on board working with us and doing these cards.
To deal with too. He's such a treat.
Yeah.
I would love to have him come to like an in-person event, like sign art or something.
Oh, there are a number of artists. We've talked about this in the past. Like there are a couple of artists who have been really, really committed to the project and really kind of like they're so excited to work on Flawed. It's not a matter of like, oh, that company's ordering another artwork from me. Like let me go make the artwork.
They don't come to us and they're like, when's the next one?
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you, Fernando. Excited to see.
Huge thank you.
Are we doing the last bit is the event exclusive promo?
Yes.
You ready?
Yeah. You want me to just click? Or you want me to like give a little introduction, or what do you want to do?
Well, we can remind, I guess, if anyone wasn't on the stream last time.
Yeah.
The event exclusive promo for 2023. What we decided to do, since we're going to be selling the Earth deck and the Dark deck at like a lot of the events, is create a promo that's basically one for each, and then it's going to be a card that can be shuffled into the deck. So like if a person buys the starter deck, they can choose to buy the event exclusive card and then start modifying their deck.
Right.
And so we chose something that was like in line with the colors for the Earth deck for today's stream.
Yep.
That also had a low card construction cost.
Yep.
So that the person could feasibly like put it anywhere that they wanted in the starter deck.
Yeah, that was
get some deck building experience in.
We had a number of parameters that we wanted to stay within when we made this choice to go with a main deck card. We were like, it's got to have low CCC so that it can take pretty much any essence, and you can have that decision as your first kind of sortie into deck building. But the other thing is we really didn't want it to be a rare and epic. We didn't want to just like inflate everybody's collection and just give them all the like rarest cards right off the rip. We wanted it to be something that was very serviceable, very powerful, very interesting, a good card.
Like a common or uncommon.
But a common or uncommon, just to allow it to be something that's like special. Than if you just give everybody the rares, like when you open packs, you're gonna be like, oh, I already have this card.
Yeah.
Like, oh, why do I care about that? So this is a cool way to also make it where like people who, when you're building your deck, it's always in my like memory, playing rare cards is always easy. There's always like a reason to have them in your deck. So like I would always try to seek out like the alternate art or the foil or the specialty like commons.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to just look like basic commons in my deck.
Yeah.
So this is definitely like a kind of a two-pronged attack on that and trying to get it in a position where it'll be a good pickup for anybody who's looking to go forward. The second thing, and we talked about this a little bit last week, didn't we, about like how unique does an exclusive card need to look? And we workshopped this a bunch. We talked to a bunch of you. We sent some PMs to different people. I sat in Discord with my brother one day. We talked. We went to Augusta, sat with a bunch of the patrons, and we talked. And I think we came up with a really cool idea.
We went through like 3 or 4 designs before we finally landed on the final
Yep.
one. Let's show it.
Let's show it. You're not clicking. I'm not clicked in the right screen. This job's harder than it looks, guys.
Woo! So the first 2023 not Patreon event exclusive card will be Unseen Duelist, and so this one is meant to pair with the Earth deck, and you can swap it in for whatever card you want in your Earth deck. It's an option, so like people who want to buy the starter decks don't necessarily have to get this exclusive card, but they can if they want to make their deck a little more customizable. We have the 2023 like set symbol down there to help set it apart from the base set card, aside from the fact that the art's obviously completely different.
Obviously.
What do you think?
Speechless right now. I really like the 2023.
I know none of you guys can hear this, but he's sitting about 3 feet behind me. When I clicked the button over, he just whispered, "Yes."
When you see that 2023, tell me if you feel the same way. But I saw it and I was like, why would I ever play the one that's in the booster pack?
That is going to go into a glass case. Like my other one.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm glad that Lewis is in here. Lewis and I had to talk about it, and Avery does not like the thick outline. Interesting.
We actually made this card just zoomed in without any outline at all. We tried it with a thin outline. We tried it with thick outline, and we did do it with no outline. Yep. We did do it with like a small-ish focus group. I think there was
a handful
4
of us
total. And unanimously, this was the one that was chosen. It looks. The idea is that it looks like a sticker.
Like a sticker, right?
And it goes along with like the comic book feel. Go ahead.
So the one on the right, is that the exclusive one, and then the one on the left is the one that we'll get for our decks?
The one on the sword through the moon, that set symbol is for everything that comes in like booster packs. So that one's available to the general public.
That'll be your standard release like post Kickstarter.
Yeah. And then see on the other one, the set symbol has a 23. So that means that you can only get it by coming to an in-person event in 2023.
Yep.
Which is like the
similar to the
Hall of
card you already
Shadows
have.
that you have.
Yes.
Yep.
I think the Hall of Shadows you have as an E for like
event. Yep.
Card.
We decided to slightly update it. Obviously, like in the early days, we were kind of figuring all this stuff out. So the 2022 exclusive does just have the E in the corner for an event exclusive, but this is a way to sort of parse them a little bit better. And
really, what it came down to is in the 2022 promo, we had a very obvious way to like etch 2022 in the side of the building.
That's true. That's
and
true.
when we were looking at this one, I'm like, well, where are we going to fit 2023 that it doesn't just look like it was slapped on there?
Right.
And so he's like, well, why don't you just make it the set symbol? Like, oh, duh, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean
But that's where it came from. We were trying to figure out where to fit 23 and.
I really, really like it.
Yeah.
And this is, like we were talking about, this is a card that I think when you're looking at the composition of the Earth Water deck, I personally could see slotting any number of these in for like 15 different turns.
Yeah. And the other thing I really like about it is because it has Stealth 1, it introduces a ton of interesting new gameplay with the Dark starter deck specifically.
Right.
Because right now the Dark starter deck has a ton of Stealth 1, and the Earth deck doesn't have any way to defend those attacks right now. So if you swap these in, I think we'll start to see some really interesting gameplay. And the like stat line on Unseen Duelist is also like really competitive with the Dark Fire deck, where like even though Unseen Duelist has stealth, like it's gonna die to Knife Expert unless you put like an interesting essence on it, I guess. There's just a lot of cool stuff. It's a really
So
good
like the
selection.
Knife Expert with Essence of Combat beats this guy, unless he's got like Soulless or something on him.
Yeah.
But the one without it like loses the fight now. So now if you're playing this at home and you're the two people bouncing out your deck, you're gonna start taking, oh well, maybe I gotta take my Essence of Combat like off of Avarisa, put it on Knife Expert, like, and start making changes and stuff to kind of metagame your little 2-man group of, and you'll actually have some.
He says that white outline makes the Unseen Duelist easier to see. What are these devs doing?
That's true. We nerfed him. We hard nerfed him. You can clearly see him now.
So now that y'all see the event exclusive card that is going to be paired with the Earth deck, you can speculate over the course of the next week what you think the event exclusive promo is going to be for the Dark deck, because it's already been selected.
It's already been produced.
So y'all can like go swipe through all the cards online and be like, what is it? What's it going to be? Oh my god, I don't know.
Knife Expert.
And anybody who
it's gonna
was
be a card that's not already in the decks, because it's a card that you can like make changes to your deck with. So you'll have to go online and like look through the Dark and Fire cards and think of like, well, which one did we pick that's not already in the decks that could go in there.
As a reminder, this is Kathy's comment from a couple nights ago when we got the artwork back for the second 2023 promo. I just posted it in the stream chat, but she's literally just like sat in the middle of the living room for hours that night, like just she's like she just had something on the TV. She's like decompressing, sitting there. Was this Sunday night? When was this?
I don't remember.
It was a couple nights ago.
Looking at it like,
and you literally just sat there, and I couldn't peel you away from your phone.
Listen, it's going on the banner. It's going on the event. It's going everywhere. This art is fantastic. But that's next week.
That's next week, yeah. And it's going to be a big one. That's going to be a really cool release, because it's also for the... I mean, we can give this little teaser. It's a brand new artist.
Yeah, it's a brand new artist.
It's something that we've never seen this person
before. This is a new artist. Did we talk about that?
We spoiled this guy. We spoiled this guy a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah. The Unseen Duelist came out a couple weeks ago.
That's right. We talked about Ray Sandal, right?
But it is, yeah. For the sake of like talking about this, like our community of artists just continues to grow. Like the more we're out there, the more our Instagram posts are being seen. Like one artist shares it, the next artist sees it, and like the more access that I get to talking to these people, like everybody's really excited to like be working on this project, and it's.
He says Fernando is obviously incredibly talented and got tons of praise. Let
me cope about my cowboyless Flawed universe.
No, this. I mean, Fernando's obvious. They're all great. This new one that's coming next week, though. It's so good.
It is very good. I don't like Kathy. Here's the thing. I'm gonna tell a really quick side story.
Okay.
What was the Batman movie that everybody loved? The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
When The Dark Knight came out, I did not see it in theaters. And I spent months hearing about how it is not only a darker, grittier Batman, but also about how freaking good it was for months. And when I finally saw it, 3, 4, 5 months, whatever, after it released, I was like, okay, you guys really made this out to be like the greatest movie, the greatest film
you
ever.
think that's what I'm doing with the new one?
And now I'm fearful that you guys are gonna expect
it's
like
possible.
glow in the dark, like animated card, like I don't know what Kathy's hyping up at this point.
I like it. It's my style.
The card is very good. It is very nice, but like I don't know if she's doing it any favors right now.
All right, that's the strim.
That's the strim. Yeah, I guess that's.
Any last words, Elise?
I want to see the card.
He doesn't want to wait.
He doesn't want to wait.
I want to see the card.
Jake
Nope.
says, quick one. Yeah, I mean, we're just like, at this point, we're kind of in a little bit of a holding pattern. We're just getting some arts. We're making our...
It'd be a quick one. We had a new keep card, a new event promo, and a new artwork.
I mean, we wrapped it all in 30 minutes is what he's saying. Like, it was...
More efficient.
Yeah, that's true. We're getting good. We're getting good at our job. Except I still can't click the buttons in the right order.
We shared tons of stuff today.
But no, yeah, we're going to keep, like I said, grinding forward, getting some art, like just looking into next year. Some of the big things right now is trying to turn the corner and consider we're going to start setting aside some budget for advertising. Ravenous fan base. No, you know what? That's true. That's actually a good point. Zoltan says 30 minutes is not enough flawed content. We've got a ravenous fan base. Yeah, we need to start figuring out ways that we can do some stuff other than these spoils and stuff. I'd really love to start getting some TTS gameplay if anybody wanted to like start setting that up. Personally, I would be more than happy to moderate and help people set up games and like be available for that type of stuff.
Listen,
but like,
I've got Unseen Duelist in my deck that's on TTS. Upload this artwork.
and you'll play. Jeez. But there's sharing on TikTok. Yeah. We just had a flawed hashtag on TikTok for the first time.
Big moments.
We're doing big things over here. But the big thing is basically right now we're just trying to find like the schedule and like fit in all of our publicity for next year. It's like 6 months away, you guys. It's like
it's so soon. Oh
it's not that far. Like there's so much to do first and foremost, and second off, there's like you say 6 months, and you're like, oh, that's like a ton of days, but like the days fly by. Like I spent all day today like working on trying to figure out how to turn like PSDs into PDFs and like make them the way that I want them, and it is really not as easy as it sounds.
Someone watching this on YouTube would be like, what are you talking
What?
about?
Yeah.
Why do you make a whole game you don't know how to save a PSD as a PDF? It's more complicated than that. It wasn't just saving.
Yeah, I wasn't just. Yeah, it's not just that, but TTS, let's go. Just double my structure health, please. I don't want to die as quick as I do in person.
Whose is this?
That is Sean's that he never got because we only saw him for 5 minutes when we were in town. Yeah, that's on That's on the YouTube recording now. I'll use his whole name. What's his middle name? Danger, right? But yeah, we're gonna probably wrap it up there, guys. I guess I'll probably bump up to general chat for just a minute. I do have something that I've got to get to at 9 o'clock, a little meeting that I've got to take. But I will.
And thank you, Anthony, for joining us.
Absolutely.
Your real name again.
Thank you to my guests, Elite PVG and Stick Girl 390 back here behind me helping out. Humongous thank you to the entire Patreon, all the support. It's really been super consistent, super powerful, super helpful. I've been talking with some different people, and just like when recently I've been saying, oh yeah, we've got like our booth and our play space like reserved for Origins, and they're just like, holy cow, like you know, how'd you get that order? I'm just like, well, I have an awesome community that's like picking me up and put me on their shoulders and wanted us to be there basically, and that's how we got there. And that's a really big deal that like has an impact when you say it to people, and this position that we're able to do, again, it's a grassroots thing. Everybody that's in this channel, everybody that's on the Patreon, otherwise, all the clicks, all the likes, all the participation, like all that stuff matters so much, and we really do appreciate it. And I hate that we're a little bit of a short stream tonight, but again, we got out what we needed out.
Flawed will be big. I believe it.
I genuinely hope so. I just want the product to be good, and I want it to speak for itself. I don't want to have to like do anything other than that. Just show up with the good thing and let people make their decision, you know? But
I like that.
all right, we're gonna shut it down there. So thank you again. Let me see if I can have yeah, right here. Okay. We will see you guys next week with a new spoil and some new announcements and all that type of stuff.